Psychic Senses workshop. I am so excited to have you all here. For those of you that don't know me, welcome. My name is June and I am a psychic medium, psychic teacher, and founder here at the Little Psychic School. Is part of a Little Psychic School, which is a learning or psychic learning development platform and community. I have here with me today who's also going to be running the Psychic Senses workshop, Shannon. So Shannon, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight. So I am also a psychic medium, a mentor and a tarot card reader, and I hold the position of head of psychic development at the Little Psychic School. So I'm very excited to take you guys through tonight and help you awaken some of these senses and see what happens tonight. I can feel the energy already. I don't know about you guys.
It's amazing. Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to find either myself or Shannon over on social media, I am over at Ms. June Mac, and Shannon is at Shannon the Intuitive Guide. And if you would like to follow us at the Little Psychic School, you can follow us at the Little Psychic School on Instagram or Facebook, or also if you want to know a little bit more about Little Psychic School, it is thelittlepsychicschool.com. So nice and easy for you there. There we go. I finally got my act into gear and figured out how to turn.
She will freeze, guys, throughout this, but just give it a sec. It'll reconnect.
The next page. Can you... Hello? Am I back?
You're back now.
I'm back. If you would like to work with myself or Shannon as well, we both offer psychic and mediumship readings and one-on-one psychic mentoring, but both of us are teachers inside of the Little Psychic School, so we're really excited to get you into this tonight. Before we sort of get started, I'll talk a little bit about the Little Psychic School. So basically, if you are here, if you are watching this, I truly do believe that everybody is born with psychic abilities. A lot of people think that it's something that you either have or you don't have, but I am a very strong believer, and I think Shannon would probably say the same, in the fact that you can learn how to reignite or tune back into your own psychic senses. So basically, the Little Psychic School, if you would like to do this and really hone in on your own intuition to begin with, or psychic abilities, the Little Psychic School is a place to come. We have live events on every month. We do psychic practices, we do Q&As. There's a bunch of different events, including this one. So this one's open to the public, but normally we'll do things like this for our members. And we also have courses and things available in there. So if you have any other questions about it, it's all run inside our members only app. Just ask myself or Shannon, or reach out to us over on social media. Was there anything else you wanted to add in, Shan?
Not at all. I think, guys, would actually, yes, you know me. There's always something I want to add. And that is that our soul is on a journey, right? And we're only in human form at the moment. So a lot of this tapping into your psychic senses is really tapping back into your soul and connecting to the energy that's all around us as a result of that. So if you've not done this before tonight, I'm very excited for you, because you're in for a treat.
I love how you said that. I also do think that a lot of people pick up their psychic side or their intuition very, very quickly, because I always like to say that we're re-remembering. We're technically not learning from scratch, because we already know how to do this naturally. So thanks, Shan. I'll try to get my computer is so slow. So I guess let's get into your psychic senses. If you have any questions along the way at all, please feel free just to type them up in the chat box, or you can talk if you want. But what are your psychic or your clear senses? So what are they? I personally believe that, like our human senses, we have these psychic senses, and I do think that they go hand in hand with your human senses. The thing is, though, everyone will have their own unique combination of how their psychic senses shows up for them. So just how we are all different as people, how we all have different things that we're really great at. We all have different things that are our jam. It's similarly speaking with your psychic senses. So say, for example, I'm a very visual person. I sort of need visuals to learn. I love to read books and I imagine really, really well. So for me as a psychic, probably one of my strongest clair senses is clairvoyance, which is the psychic sense of seeing. I tend to see a lot, which is great because it's probably one of my favorite psychic senses also. What about you, Shan? What would you say is probably your strongest psychic sense?
It honestly depends on who I'm reading for or who I'm working with. It will change around, which I think is really important to mention, that just because one is really strong for you doesn't mean it will always remain the most dominant or the most strong one. So I find that I sort of teeter between knowing and hearing. So it'll go through that. So clairaudience, which we'll go over a little bit more a little bit later, but also claircognizance, which is clair-knowing. You just know it. There's no rhyme or reason, there's no logic to it. You just know it.
Yeah. And you'll also find, like, as you go along, oh no, my internet connection's unstable again. Your senses that you thought you didn't have will start to upgrade as your most prominent one upgrades. The rest of them should simultaneously upgrade together. So I would like to say as well, because we all have our own unique combination, don't compare yourselves to other people and think that it's not working for you. Just because, say, for example, you don't see anything doesn't mean you're not receiving psychic information. You just might be receiving it in a different way. The reason why psychic senses are important is because when you tap into your intuition, when you trying to sorry, I'm just letting someone into the weight room. That is how you will experience that information that's coming through. So all of you have probably had a time, like you could probably recall where you just knew something was going to happen, or where you just knew that someone was not your person, like they hadn't necessarily done anything to you, but you probably just had that knowing. So understanding, I guess, how they work and understanding that a little bit deeper is probably one of your first and greater steps, I guess, in understanding how your intuition and your abilities are going to work for you. So did anyone have any questions so far?
No.
No?
No.
All good? Thanks, Jamie. I can see you at the top there talking. So we'll get straight into then the first psychic sense, which is clairvoyance, or the psychic sense of seeing. So for those of you that are new to this, you might have heard people say, oh, that person's a clairvoyant. But really, and that really just means that they have the psychic sense of seeing, when most of us have more than just clairvoyance. So I find it quite funny that people use that term the most freely. But how psychic seeing might work for you. So it might start out as, for me, how it started out is seeing colors or shapes during meditation, or maybe when your eyes are closed. And for the longest time, I actually didn't know that I was these were clairvoyant images. I just thought, you know, like when you press on your eyeballs, does anyone ever do that? And they kind of like, it goes purple or red or something. I kind of thought it was something along those lines when it first started happening. And a lot of people think that clairvoyance is something that you will see something physically in front of you, when actually, for most people that I have mentored or that I've done one-on-one work with, clairvoyance is experienced in the mind's eye. So for those of you who have heard the term third eye and mind's eye, you're probably thinking, you know, you might have heard it and not fully understand what that means. For me, the easiest way to explain it is that where you visualize things, when you imagine things in your head, is the same space that your clairvoyant images show up. So that actually makes it really hard for a lot of people to even realize that they have received clairvoyant images before. It also makes it really hard when you're first getting started to differentiate between the difference between imagination and actual clairvoyant images.
Mm.
But yeah, in saying that though, if you are imagining something, that's okay, because imagination when you're first practicing actually helps to spark your psychic abilities. So if it starts out with like tuning into an object and you're actually imagining something to begin with, that's okay, because you have that playful type of energy, which actually helps you to then receive clairvoyant images, because you let go, you're having fun with it. And that's what I suggest for you tonight or moving forward, is try to have fun with these exercises, or when you're practicing, because when you come from that sense of like really, really needing it or wanting it to happen, and it sounds really bad, but actually trying too hard, when you try too hard, it can shut down your psychic abilities. So it's going to sound weird, but don't try. Just have
Let
fun.
them come.
What was that?
Let them come. Mm.
Trust, don't
Sorry?
try.
Yes, trust, don't try. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Oh, so how they first start, so just so you know, moving forward, what might happen for you, say you don't continue your development with us, but I really hope you do. You might start out with just seeing these colors or shapes with your eyes closed perhaps, but then as we move forward, what happens is these images become easier for you to hold, and you might get a full image of something, and then slowly that can then progress into, movies or moving shapes. And at the start, you might get an image and it disappears really quickly, and you might only be able to see things with your eyes shut. So even for me now, it's still easier for me with my eyes closed, but when I open my eyes now, because I've developed it, I can still see that image, but generally speaking, I'm not looking at you, because if I'm looking at the person, it's like kind of weird having an image over their face. So I tend to look up or look away when I'm doing readings. But in saying that, that's how it sort of works for me. For those of you who think that you might have experienced clairvoyance before, or maybe you have experienced it before, did you want to type in the chat box exactly how it is that you think you've experienced it, or how you experience it? Because everyone's different. I have got physical like hard solid objects in front of me before, but it tends to be when I'm in between asleep and awake, because you're very high vibration when you're sleeping, or in between that asleep and awake stage, because analytical mind is switched off. And that would be probably the main times when I've seen hard solid, like something in front of me, and not gonna lie, I freaked out a little bit. So Shannon here says that she definitely experiences it in her mind. So if you want to type while people are typing, Shannon, the intuitive guide number.
Oh, she'll come back.
One. How do you experience your clairvoyance? Is it the same as mine?
Yeah,
Back?
Yeah, you're back now. So mine is the same. I mainly see it in my mind's eye, but I have seen it physically in front of me as well. And the strangest story came to my mind when you were talking about that, which, is a message. When I see those things, or, memories replay, I'm like, I need to share that. That's a message for others, because someone will take something from that. And I remember one of the first times it happened to me as an adult, when my senses were coming back online, was I'd turned down this street, and it was, hardly anyone around. It's paddocks kind of thing. And I saw this car on the side of the road with a guy standing beside it. And then, you're driving, so you look away and you look at something, it looked back. And when I looked back, the car and the guy were not there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm either in a horror movie and I need to wake up, or I've just had actually seen something that was actually there. And that's what started from there. Was no trust. He wasn't there. The veil was a little bit thinner than usual, and you were able to see more.
Wow. Emily's asking, any messages from my dad? Emily, I think you might be thinking that you're on the wrong workshop. So you might be on the thinking that this is the showcase tonight. This is the Uncover Your Psychic Senses workshop, where we're actually not doing any channeling information. I'm sorry, unless anyone else wants to tune in for Emily. tonight.
I can respond to her in the chat if they
Yeah. If anyone does feel the urge for that, but you may think that you're on the Psychic Showcase, which was 2 weeks ago. Sorry, Emily. Mordred says, in my mind's eye, often just knowing and occasionally something heard, almost as if spoken aloud. So that's clairaudience, which we will definitely get to in a minute. Thank you so much, Mordred, for sharing. So we're going to, how do we, develop our clairvoyance, or how do we keep playing with it? So there's a bunch of different exercises that you can do, which will take a long time if we go through all of them tonight. But basically, if you are practicing anything with your own visuals, you will be practicing anything to do with your clairvoyance, because your physical senses actually go hand in hand with your psychic senses. So to practice visualizing is a really good way to practice your clairvoyance. So one of my favorite exercises, which we'll have a quick go at tonight, is which actually uses 2 psychic senses. So it uses knowing and seeing, which I like to use Uno cards. So basically what we're going to do, and you guys are going to play along and have a go at this, is have a tune into a card that I've got. What am I looking at? What color is on the other side? Use your mind's eye to try and visualize. Don't think too far into it. What was that thing? Don't try, trust.
trust but try.
Yes. And have a feel into and see what you see in your mind's eye. If it's not correct, this is not the aim of the game. That will come. I wouldn't expect you to get it correct, but good job if you actually do. I can't see anything. Just says June sharing screen. Oh, whoops. Can other people not see me?
No, they can see you. It's just a few have messaged me privately and said they can't actually see the screen being shared, but I can see it.
Ah. Well, that's annoying. And I don't know what to do about that. Can anyone else see screen share or not see me? It might be because you're on your phone. Are people on their phone? That's weird. Anyway. Okay. She's very small today. Is that
Shan's
me?
on her phone. Yeah.
Okay. If you're on your phone.
Yeah, I'm on my laptop. I can see. It's very strange. Anyway, we'll keep going, and we'll just. I've got it. I've got it on the replay. So.
Okay. Yep. All right. I'll just scroll through here. Definitely in my mind vision for me. Yep. So that's the same as Nikki. Abby says, I see images and shapes at night when I'm going to sleep. That's definitely clairvoyance, Abby. That happens to me too. When you're falling asleep, because you're between asleep and awake, that's when it happens. If you meditated, I reckon if you do meditate, you probably see things as well. That was a message for Emily. I'll scroll past that one. Emily can have a read. Thank you, Mordred. Shan, I can just see logo in June. Oh no. Nikki says yellow. What else? Just says student screen sharing. Debbie also says yellow too. Oh, we've got a number as well. Good on you, Debbie. I was going to give that as an extra. Mark says 2 and a 6. Red is my guess. Yes, Shan's on the phone. Em says I'm on the laptop and I can only see the presentation and can't see the presentation. Let me know can you see my face, Em? Shan, I'll get replay. Sorry. Should I take the presentation down? That's not an issue.
Maybe reshare. When I'm chatting, maybe reshare.
What does reshare mean? So take it off
stop
for now.
sharing and then share it. Try share.
Okay, cool. Mordred says yellow and equals gentle breeze. Abby says, scroll across if you're on your phone. Nikki, I'm gonna do something. I'm glitchy. Okay, Shannon, green 2. M says blue. Kaz says green. Okay.
I couldn't figure out how to type it in, but I thought green too as well.
You got green as well. All right. Perfect. Thanks, Raquel. So I'm going to turn it around, and please, like I said, don't beat yourself up if you got it incorrect, because it's all about the visualizing. While you're visualizing, you are practicing this sense. So this is how you get it stronger. Try it again at home because it was green. So some of you got it.
We even got a number. I think someone got the 6.
Did
It was
they?
Mark. Mark got the 6. Well done.
Mark on fire. Wow, that's crazy. Nikki says I immediately went to change to green. So I'll do one more real quickly. Hang on, not that one. All right. I'm gonna have a real good look at this one. Have a tune in what color is on the other side. And see what you get. You get visualize. And I'll give you a second to try that. And just so you know, just because say you you don't get these correct, doesn't matter, doesn't mean your clairvoyance is not working, because I am definitely hit and miss with these types of exercises. Some days I'm like, I'm on fire, and other days they're like wrong. So it's just about the visualizing. It's not about getting it correct. Don't put that pressure on yourself. So Debbie has red 4. Now Kaz can't see me. Awesome.
I can't see you either.
What is happening in my life? Let me try that.
Yep, there you are.
Had to spotlight.
Now I can't hear you.
Now she's frozen.
Myself.
Spirits
I
of
thought because I was the
messing with
host
it.
that wouldn't be an issue. Am I back now?
You're back now.
Yeah, but we can't hear you.
So Mark says blue 4, M says yellow, Shan says red 7, Nikki says my clairvoyance is much accurate in games and in real life and important situations. So true. I will agree with that. Purple and blue bells. Mordred, Kaz says purple, Raquel says yellow. All right, guys. Red 1.
Red.
I think Debbie got red.
Yeah, I said red.
And Shan said red.
And Shan said red. And Debbie
I said red in my head.
And do you know what's funny? What also sometimes happens is accidentally telepathically, if you are not good at setting your clear attentions and boundaries, you can also telepathically pick up an answer off somebody else and what they're visualizing. So I did find this in Psychic Circle. I would have one color here, right? Say I had red, like 8 out of 10 of the psychics would get yellow because one person saw yellow and everybody tuned into this yellow person. So that's just something to be aware of in these types of situations as well. I was just thinking that, yeah, you got both colors. Wow, Shan. And I reckon I got the answers from the other. Yes, that does happen. Was there any questions on clairvoyance before we go over to clairaudience, guys? Well done. Hope that was fun for you. You can see it can be fun. Shan, did you want to go? Did you need the presentation or should I just leave it off?
You can give it a whirl and we'll see how we go. Oh, all right. I'm just getting it up on my phone as a backup. But yeah, okay. So clairaudience, which is our clear hearing. Yeah. So this is where we hear it. And what I want to really start off with saying here is that I don't generally hear psychic messages in other voices. I hear them in my own voice in my head, but I just know that it's not me. So if you guys have ever had something where you can just, you can hear something and you know it's not you. So for me, the way I experience quite often is almost like one word. And I'll hear one word and it will bounce. It feels like, do you remember that game you used to play when you were little and it was the ball and you'd have to move the things on the side to get the ball to bounce from one side to the other? That's almost how I feel the words do in my head. It's almost like they're in there and they've got to bounce around and they won't stop until I say them. So I have to get them out. And that's how I hear it. But I'll just hear little things. And sometimes it will feel like they whisper outside of my ear, but it's generally in my own head. It's almost like my thoughts. So when I was first having this, I actually thought, oh my goodness, am I hearing voices? Have I fully lost it now? Mother of 3 boys here, overtired. Oh my gosh, they've actually sent me Coco Bongos. But it wasn't. It was that I was hearing it in there, and being part of the little psychic school was one of the things that helped me understand I wasn't crazy. I was just psychic. So highly recommend joining. But yeah, so for me, it's that. But what I had to start to really work on was what is my ego and what I'm pushing out there as a thought and what am I actually hearing? And what I found was helpful for me to help me with my hearing was to get quiet. And in the quiet, I could hear more.
Yeah.
So and do you know when I mainly hear messages, especially for myself, obviously in a reading, I'll hear it whilst I'm sitting here doing a reading, but for myself to get messages, I hear it when I'm in the shower. And that's because no one else needs anything from me, no one else bothering me, and my brain finally has a moment to quiet down. And that's when I'll start to hear. I actually have conversations generally with my passed over loved ones whilst I'm getting ready in the morning, doing my hair and my makeup and stuff like that. And we'll have a good old chat. So, but I do hear it that way. Have you guys ever experienced that though, where you just hear something and you're like, that's not my own thought. Where did that come from? Yeah. So that's clairaudience. That's your psychic hearing. You are hearing it. You're not crazy like I thought I was. So you definitely have that scene that, yeah. So you got Nikki, when it comes properly, it's fully forceful and noticeable, different to your usual meanderings, and it penetrates. So definitely for sure. So if you want to start to build on this, what I would strongly suggest is get quiet. Meditations are amazing, especially I'm going to take you through a visualization, and I'm going to get you to start to actually tap into this in a little bit later in the workshop. So that will be wonderful to do. But it's wonderful. And for me, I'll find it started with just one word. And I'll tell you something absolutely incredible. It's actually what drew me to go and be with my now husband, because when his mum had passed, she was sending me messages and I could hear her. And she was telling me 2 words, save him. And that was it. So I had to follow that. So yeah, so for me, it's my hearing is very important in my messages. So what we're going to get you guys to do to start to awaken yours, or tap into it if you've already got it, is I want you guys to start to focus on me. Yay, love it. Leo over here, pay attention, make me center. But what I want you guys to do is to tap into my energy. And what I want you to do is ask your guides for them to send you a song, to play a song in your head, something that has meaning for me. And I want you guys to share it. You can either come off mute and share it with us, or pop in the chat. What is the song that you hear? So June and I actually practiced this just before you guys got on, and June got a song, and we'll tell you in a minute what that was.
As in like, I got a song for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want me to tell? Is that what you want me to say? Sorry, I was just reading the comments.
I know. I think we both stopped and read Mark's comments. So
I was stopping and reading. So actually, I accidentally tuned into Shannon, and I was explaining to Shannon this exercise because I love this exercise. We did it in a real life psychic circle, and it was really fun. And as I was explaining the exercise to Shannon, don't make me sing it.
Just say it.
I got that Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. Who sings that song? Do we know? That ain't no sunshine when she's gone. That one in my head. And I was like, I don't understand how that relates to you though. But Shannon got it straight away. So how does that relate to you, Shan? It's probably you're better to explain it.
Yeah. So my husband's currently in Berlin for work. So we're on opposite sides of the world, and he's feeling quite lost because he normally travels for work, but not that far. So he's feeling a bit lost traveling that far without me. So
that's pretty cute. Yeah. And that hit home. I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. So yeah, have a tune into Shannon and see what it is what song pops into your head, and have a think about what that means. What that song might mean to you. And that's basically a really easy way to practice clairaudience, because I do find it's quite hard. For me, I didn't know for the longest time that I actually had clairaudience. I thought that I was just I was clever, and I was having really clever ideas. I always had really clever ideas, but turns out once I sort of started working in this space or developing my senses more, that I was receiving clairaudience messages, but I wasn't that smart. The ideas that were coming in were being fed to me, and because they are in your own thoughts or in your own voice, I couldn't tell the difference. So only as I started to develop this, and actually automatic writing, if anyone has heard of that, it's probably one of my favorite ways to help to develop your clairaudience, is now I can start to differentiate between the two. But still sometimes, I still sometimes second guess myself. So Mark's asking, can you talk about what can block or cause resistance? So oh gosh, so many things, Mark.
Oh, she's frozen again.
So cause resistance around, oh,
Oh, now she's just
you
gone.
talk. Am I back?
Yeah, you're
Am I back?
You come back and you were leaning over, so you just left. You'd given
I was
up.
just plugging my computer in. So causing resistance in terms of psychic abilities could be so many different things. They could be so for a lot of people, like I find for mentoring clients, would probably be fear would be number one. So fear of what you're going to experience, fear of stepping into the unknown, fear of being judged. Can we keep going, Shannon? What other fears do we deal with? There's so many different things.
Yeah, all of the above, being judged, losing friends, they're the biggest conversations we have with people as their resistance to it or their blocker to it. But I also think I think a bit of a block as well is trying to navigate that ego versus what's actually a message. I think that's a bit of a blocker if you let that. I also think, like June said earlier, if you try too hard, like you just, with a lot of this work is trust and surrender. So I think if you push and push and push yourself, or you try and be the best at it, no, you've got to let it happen almost organically, but you've just got to try and be open to it. So I think that's a big blocker as well. Would you agree, June?
Yeah, definitely. And when I decided that this is fun, which I've always found it fun, this is fun for me, and didn't put any pressure on myself. I actually didn't know I was going to end up here. I literally just thought I'm going to do this because I'm interested in this stuff. Like this stuff lights me up. It makes me happy. It makes me really excited. I don't know why. I'm just going to have fun with it and put no pressure on myself to be. I would have never thought I would have ended up here running a psychic senses workshop as a psychic medium. No way. But when I first stepped into it out of curiosity and decided this is going to be fun, was when everything started opening up. And because I didn't have that pressure on myself. I think if you think, well, I've got to be a psychic, because not everyone has to be a psychic. You can just be an intuitive hairdresser or an intuitive teacher. Like the world needs more intuitive teachers and hairdressers or whatever it is that you do. So Shannon still works like, full time. So you can do whatever you want to it, make it your own. So Nikki says Bill Withers sings that song. And Shannon got Brown Eyed Girl. So Shannon, no worries, Mark. I hope that's answered your question and we didn't just go off on the wrong tangent. So Shannon, have a tune into why Brown she's a lady. I'm pretty sure that's the one, which is awesome. If you have a reason around that, let us know, but that's amazing that you heard a song. Raquel says Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone is what I thought and started singing. Whoa, okay, that's actually really weird. Wow. What a combo. Hairdressers that give you readings. Actually, there's so many of them, Nikki. There's so many
My girlfriend is a hairdresser and makeup artist and also a psychic. So she will sit there doing your hair, she gets messages while she's doing
Oh, that's amazing. Like, does she market herself as that or just like accidentally? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
She markets herself as a healer though. So yeah, like you said, you don't have to be a psychic. She says that she's a healing hairdresser.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. A lot of hairdressers or beauticians or masseuses, people that are in your personal space, get intuitive messages. I've had a heap of them through as clients, and they're like, "What's happening? I'm accidentally reading people's minds when they're in." If you haven't had a turn or had a go and you want to keep having a little guess, don't be afraid to tune in after and send some stuff through. Again, don't put any pressure on yourself to be correct or to make it make any type of sense. We're just playing. We're just having fun. So did anyone have any questions to add in?
Sorry, you'd frozen again, but you're back now. So with Brown Eyed Girl, I can actually tell you what straight away, as soon as I read that earlier, I knew exactly what that meant. So at my 21st birthday, this song went off, right? We were all singing, dancing to it, going crazy. And it was one of the last big celebrations I had with my grandfather before he passed.
Oh, wow.
For me, it connected straight to him that he would send, you know, someone to share that, so that it was that reminder that he's around. She's a lady. Now that I can totally connect to that as well. So, you know how I said that my mother-in-law, she's obviously in spirit. She was always referred to as being very much a lady. And so Jules tells me stories all the time, because unfortunately I never got to meet her, that she would always go, oh, no, ladies don't do that. Oh, ladies don't do that. Now, I think if you'd upset one of her 4 sons, she probably would have rolled in, you know, and knocked you out. But, you know, she was referred to as a lady. So ain't no sunshine when she's gone yet. So that's awesome. And sorry to everyone who's going to have that in their heads. Oh, Born to Run, Lauren. I love that. Everyone tells me that I'm always like, I'm a natural born leader. And I think, I don't know whether that's the Leo energy in me or whatever, but Born to Run for me is I'm meant to run the world, especially in my little world. So I love that too. Yeah. So I can absolutely, and it's funny because I hear in my head what that is straight away and how it connects. So it tells
That's so good.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, because we're on here and my internet's working. I don't know.
Oh, good job, guys. That's amazing. You all did like some accidental mediumship for some of you as well, which is great. So tapping into some past over spirit. It's so cool. Okay, so we shall keep typing if you keep getting things while we're talking, because sometimes what happens is when I stop trying, something will come in. So the chat box is always
open. I think you guys had assumed that's what you were
we'll go into psychic knowing or collect. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or claircognizance, which is a psychic sense of knowing. So this is kind of what I touched on a little bit about earlier, which is how it begins really, which is just having that strong gut feeling or that strong knowing that maybe something is going to happen, or you're in the wrong situation. Have you ever just gone somewhere and thought, I shouldn't be here, I need to get out of here, like ASAP? Or this person seems lovely, but for some reason my gut says don't trust them, like don't open your mouth in regards to this or whatever around this person. There's no really like logical explanation why, you just kind of know these things. And this is something like, for me, this has happened my whole life, that, you know, you would have a feeling around something happening and then all of a sudden it would happen. And I'm sure Shannon was probably quite similar. And I reckon I would say 10 out of 10 people that I ask this, people who say, I have no psychic ability, if I ask them if you ever just had a knowing that something was going to happen, or that someone wasn't right for you, or that a situation wasn't right for you, everyone's had knowing. I'm going to say, tell me someone here that's never had a knowing, and you will surprise me. So how this can progress, like as you lean into your claircognizance, is that you can have a strong ability to predict events. And this is sort of like what a lot of people think that psychics do, where it's actually probably a small part of it, because we'll just make it clear here that we have the understanding that how it works is that there's not only one set timeline of how things can turn out. There are multiple different ways. So it doesn't mean if you saw a psychic and what she said was going to happen didn't actually happen. It doesn't mean that that psychic was incorrect or they're not psychic. It means that potentially you've changed direction, or your free will has sort of eliminated that prediction from happening. So we can actually have a little play with this and use it to make some predictions. But really how I like to use my psychic knowing is more around your intuition, I guess, or using it as a very strong sense of knowing, you know, what I should be doing moving forward and what steps are right for me versus what my mind tries to tell me is right for me and what's, you know, not right for me. So as I've moved into developing my psychic senses, for me, this has probably been one of my favorite senses to develop, because I have a very strong gut feeling now when I should be doing something and versus when I shouldn't. And when I started trusting this and building on this actual sense is when everything in my life completely flipped. So I used to work, 9 to 5 job where there's nothing wrong with that. I did love that while I was in it. I, used to sort of overthink everything and continually spiral, give myself anxiety about making choices and decisions. Whereas now I haven't, had any form of anxiety or really suffered from that in years because I have such a strong gut feeling of what is right for me. And that's when my whole life really changed. And I would have never have thought I would have ended up here, but I am so happy about it. I am so stoked. So what's your experiences with knowing, Shannon, or anyone else that would like to let us know how you experience knowing?
For me, I found, you just know, right? So, and it comes with the evidence afterwards, I think, as well. You just knew a decision was right for you. So whether it's, I was thinking about it not long before we come on, not in this, but it totally makes sense now. Buying homes. So I remember buying my first home in my early 20s, and it was nowhere near where my family lived. It was nowhere near my work. It was kind of in between and whatnot, but I just knew I had to buy this place. And that was because it was my stepping stone into the next one. It skyrocketed in value, and it was just knowing also to the right times to do something. And I love this example because I can relate that to other things in life. I just knew now was the time. Don't wait. I could have made 1,000 excuses in my early 20s. Oh no, I want to travel. I want to go out and party. I want to do this, rah, rah. But I knew in my gut to do that. And that actually now, thinking about it, I turned 40 last month. It has absolutely helped me along the journey in my life. And I just follow that. I just know. I used to think I was impulsive. And I don't think I am impulsive. I think I just know. And my gut tells me, and I've trusted that gut or your intuition, if that's what you want to call it, because Deb's put that in the chat. Absolutely. Yeah. It's intuition. Whatever label you want to put under, it's the same thing. And it's following that. You just know it's the right thing for you. And I'm going to flip it for when you know you shouldn't be somewhere. Have you ever gone when you're young and gone to a party and it's going left, it's going bad, and I need to get out of here before everything happens, and your body just tells you just know, you can feel something in your body and your gut just tells you, get the hell out of here. Have you guys ever been in that? No, I have. When it's gotten a bit wild, bit crazy, and you leave, and then you hear the next day and everyone's like, oh my gosh, after you left, this happened, and you're like, oh, thank God I missed that. So that it can work in that. It can tell you, it's almost like that warning as well, that something's about to happen and you need to get out of there.
Yeah, 100%. That actually, my husband's actually quite intuitive, even though he probably wouldn't like to admit it. But he actually had a situation where he was doing some naughty things, like having a bit of a drink, like in a public area with some friends. And he had a strong gut feeling to get out of it. Actually saw, which he didn't realize at the time was his clairvoyance, red and blue flashing lights and left. Yeah. And then as soon as he left, exactly what you said, Shannon, happened. The popo showed up and they all got in trouble. So yeah. So intuition. So actually how I experienced my knowing, just before we get into a little bit of a fun game, for me, it feels like butterflies or excitement in my stomach when I'm onto something good. So that's also goes hand in hand with your intuition. Or it feels like when I'm on to not something that's great, it'll be like a sinking feeling in my stomach, or like an anxious or like a not feeling. So that's sort of how it works for me. So what we might do though, if you had nothing else that you wanted to add in, Shan, before we play a little predictions game. So this is something that we obviously are not going to get the answers to right now, but we will take note of these, and I will try to let you know if these actually, you know what, we're all going to know because it's going to be a public, what we decided to choose was some predictions about the royal family. So we're all going to know if you get it right or if you get it wrong. I'm going to have a go as well. so have a little tune in and have a little predict about the royal family, what's going to happen. Try to keep them not so morbid. I don't want to really know if someone's
Nothing dark.
yeah.
Keep it entertaining.
Fun and light. Yeah, have a little tune in and kind of see if you get anything about the royal family. And with knowing how to keep, I guess, like while you're typing, so have a little tune in type, how to keep developing this. You really, the only way you're going to know is have a strong gut feeling and act on that gut feeling. You're actually going to have to try it out. And then remember how it felt in your body when this thing worked out correctly for you versus how it felt in your body when you went against that gut feeling. So that's how I started to differentiate between the two for myself, which was, you know, when I think back, actually, that didn't feel good in my body. My gut was telling me no. I felt that knot in my stomach, but my friends talked me out of it and told me this was a great idea. And that's where my head took over. And I'm yes, and keep an intuition and predictions journal. Perfect, Nikki. And also thank you for that plug, because inside the Little Psychic School there is a course, my course, which is an 8-week Little Psychic Beginners course, which actually explains a lot more into detail about keeping an intuition journal or diary. So if you join us in the Little Psychic School, you'll have access to that. All right, Shannon, have you got a prediction for the royal family? Let me think about this.
So for me, I've seen this before. I think I said this in something we did for the Little Psychic School not long ago. I keep seeing something with King Charles and March next year. So I feel like he stepped down from his duties and almost abdicates well, not like, I don't know what the word is, but like
Denounce?
steps back as king. Yeah.
Renounce? Nikki, I feel like you might know the right words.
Yeah.
Because she's a fellow English person, might know the right words for this. Mark, William will one day become king. Thanks. Thanks, Mark.
It's not a guarantee, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's not a guarantee. Deb says Harry and Meghan divorce. Oh, yeah. And Nikki says she tries to ignore them. What I'm gonna say that Kate steps back from her royal duties. I'm gonna say as early as January next year. Yeah, I'm not really great at predictions, just by the way, but if it happens, you heard it here first. Jane, not interested one little bit.
Sorry.
My dad was English, so, and he loved it again. My dad would buy lots of magazines with the royal family and stuff on them, so that's the only reason why I like to know about them. All right, so if no one else had the prediction, we'll leave it at that. And Shannon, you can go into psychic feeling.
So clairsentience, guys. So this is the ability to feel others' emotions. So this is a little along the lines of being an empath, but not totally. So in a reading, what I'll do is I'll tap into someone's emotions and I can pick up quite quickly whether they're doing well, whether they're not doing well. So if they've had, you know, a hard day, I can kind of feel that. I'll feel their anxiety, I'll feel their stress. And what it is, it's almost like my body takes that feeling on. Like within myself, so I can feel that there. But I also think it's also like I had how do I put, like, yeah, I can feel when someone else is not well as well. So I went, it's a wild story. My life is full of wild stories. I think when you're in this space, that's just what happens, right? My mum is in a quilting group, and one of the ladies she's friends with in this quilting group lives in our old house. So that I grew up in. So, and she asked my mum if she could get a reading with me. So my mum organized it. Mum goes, can you come to the house and come and do it? Like, cool, go back to my old childhood home and check it out. Why not? Anyway, whilst I was on the way there, my ear was absolutely killing me. and I can feel it, but you know it's just not you. You can feel what they're going through and what their body's going through, but you just know it's not you. I'm like, this isn't mine. Yeah. And when I got there, I said to her as part of the reading, I go, I don't know why, but my right ear is giving me grief. The minute I said it to her, it stopped hurting. So, and then she went to the doctors the next day, she had an ear infection.
Oh.
So, yeah. So you could feel it, right? But have you guys ever gone into, like, I also find when I go, and I know, June, this happens for you, is when you go into a party or something like that and you get a headache. And for me, sometimes it could be the overwhelm of energy, but sometimes actually it's someone else's anxiety and whatnot and stress manifesting in that way. And so what I've actually found I have to do when that happens is I actually have to say to my guides, if this is not of me, it needs to go. And I send it off. This is not my headache, send it away. So because I just pick up on other people's feelings because that's open. So I need to close it down because I don't want my own headaches, let alone someone else's. But it's more, it is more the emotions that I can do there and pick up on others, which is really helpful, especially with the boys and whatnot, to help pick up on their feelings. So what we're going to do is a bit of an exercise for you guys is I'm going to start to feel an emotion quite deeply. And I want you guys in the chat to put in there, and like I said, trust, don't try in this. Okay, and I'm going to try and be poker face so that my face doesn't give it away. I want you guys to try and tap into what emotion it is that I'm feeling. Okay, so I'm going to start. And all right, okay, I'm feeling this emotion now. I'm going to give you guys a second, take a couple of deep breaths and see what you guys are getting.
I'm not going to do it because I feel like because I know what you're kind of going through at the moment. I'm just going to, it's my own head will come into play. Or do I try from like what you're thinking in your head right now? Well, Lauren says she got a knot in her stomach. Nikki says, I often know I know what happens less. Yeah. Once you learn how to manage it, which called How to Clear Your Energy, if you suffer from empath problems that Shannon was talking about, which will help you to listen. It feels like crying. Raquel has excitement. Deb says heartbroken. Nikki got sadness and sorrow. I'm going to say that I also initially thought sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going for sad, worry, anxiety.
Anyone else want to have a go? Yes, I saw, you know what?
That suspense when she freezes. All right. Whilst her internet is playing catch up.
A little bit because I clairvoyantly saw the word sad.
All right. So I'm going to feel another emotion now. I'm going to shake myself off. Taylor Swift.
Am I back?
You're back now. All right. I'm going to start to feel another emotion.
Oh.
And I want you, like, I'm going to think, I'm going to feel it, I'm going to put it out there, and I want you guys to, once again, in the chat, put what you think. So take a second, don't have to rush. Trust, don't try. And let's go.
Heavy breathing, Abby. Yeah, what I was saying was I accidentally saw the word sad instead of actually tapping into the emotion. My clairvoyance came in because it's my stronger clair. Deb has happy. Lauren also says elated, excited. I also went there, but I'm not sure if it's just because you did sad and then I went the opposite. Mordred's pride in achievement, emotion close to tears of joy.
Not frozen. I'm just giving you guys a chance.
Nikki also got joy.
Mm.
Are we all accidentally reading each other again?
Mm.
Yeah, so it was joy. And I was saying in my head over and again,
yay.
joy, happiness, sunshine, rainbows, lollipops, things that that you associate with that feeling of joy.
Oh, wow. Good job, everyone. That's amazing. Nikki said, to be honest, it's her micro expressions. Good poker face. It was a good poker face. Oh, well done. All right. Everyone was quite good at that one, I feel like. So lots of empaths, I'm going to say,
Mm.
in the group, because everyone kind of did quite well with that. So just quickly, went over the sort of the four main Claire or psychic senses, but there's more. There's more that I don't know the names of. There's clairtangency, which is to do with like physical touch. There's people will argue over how many there are. I usually just go through the main six. There's also psychic smelling, which I find for me in particular happens more with mediumship, which is connection with passed over spirit. And that would be to do with, smelling a certain perfume or a flower, which is to do with the passed over. But it's probably, these are the two rarer ones, clairalience and clairgustance, which is psychic taste. So tasting things, to be honest, for me, get these two very rarely. But actually, and the psychic sense of smell only came for me when I had developed my other senses, because as you develop your psychic senses, the rest of them that aren't as strong collectively also upgrade, if that makes sense. So as I have been, moving on a little bit more with my development, these rarer ones have come in. But I have worked with people who the smell is.
I love that, how she's frozen on that.
One of their stronger ones. And I actually, am I back now?
You're back, but you froze like.
Oh no, it always happens. Where did I get up to in speaking?
I can't even remember because I got distracted by the face.
I was saying that these are the two rarer senses, but I have worked with clients who the psychic sense of smell has been one of their strongest. So one little weird fact, but it was quite interesting. They're in the little psychic school, has a very strong sense of smell. They can actually smell when someone is going to pass. So very, very interesting psychic sense of smell. It's not a happy one, but just like sort of, how I guess that can work. So if you've experienced, if you experience smell or taste, feel free to let us know your experiences in the chat box. Nikki's asking if they were a dog in a previous life. They could have been, because that is the thing that, dogs can be trained to do. But in terms of moving forward with your psychic senses, so you can work on each psychic sense separately using these types of exercises that we've, a few that we have talked about tonight, but there are many different this month within the Little Psychic School. What we're going to do is do in our psychic training events a different Claire each month. So work on one particular Claire each month, more psychic exercises and practice on so in our work, we'll separate you using Zoom into a room with one other person. So there'll be two of you in a room, for example. So you can practice on different people. So we will be, if you want to further develop your psychic senses, we will be doing this each month within the Little Psychic School. There's also in the Little Psychic School a whole module in the Little Psychic Beginners course on psychic senses. There's also a psychic sense activation in there. In saying that, you don't need the activation. I believe you're already activated. It's just more about strengthening these senses, just like you would strengthen your actual like physical muscles. They're kind of like muscles. So as you upgrade or improve on one psychic clair, the rest of them will also upgrade together. So it's very exciting moving forward. Say you work on your clairvoyance a lot, it probably will still be your strongest, but the rest of your senses will start to sort of upgrade as we go. So what is next? Oh yeah, I'm talking about the Little Psychic School. So I also for attending this workshop, you get 1 free week trial within the Little Psychic School, which is a membership, a monthly membership, but there's no lock-ins. So you can try it out. It comes down to about $12 a week. And if it's not your jam, you can jump out anytime. So that is what I have to say about those psychic senses before we get into Shannon's very awesome clairsense visualization. Did anyone have any questions about anything? Let me just check these comments. Em says not often, but she's sometimes had it in reading. So that would be smell and taste, which would be similar to myself. What about you, Shannon, in terms of smell and taste? I didn't get to ask you.
I get the smell quite often. Got one passed over loved one who will present the cigarette smoke smell. All wonderful things, and in the middle of my home or in the most random places. Now, I have never smoked a day in my life, and neither has my husband. So to smell it in the middle of our home is odd, and that's how that was one of the earlier signs I had that he was around me.
Yeah, wow. So Mordred said she often experiences smells as well when looking at photographs or images. Oh, that's cool. So your psychic senses come in while tuning into something, particularly regarding food and perfumes. On the earth plane, my physical sense of smell is poor. Interesting. Cool. All right. So Shannon, would you like to talk us through a little bit of a visualization and explain what it's for?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do in this visualization is I'm going to take you guys through and ask your guides, what is your most dominant sense, your psychic sense? So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is get into a comfortable position, close your eyes if you feel comfortable to, or if not, just lower your gaze or something along those lines. Can you hear the music?
You can hear a dog.
Yeah, it's mine.
Frankie's asleep behind me for those who saw him curl up. He's been very needy way. But if you can get comfortable, Tanya might ask you to mute if that's okay for this. Okay, so get yourselves comfortable. I want you to, like I said, close your eyes or lower your gaze. And once you've done that, I want you to start focusing on your breath. I want you to make sure that the breaths you are taking are even, that you slow them down. Breathe in and out. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that you're letting go of all the stress of the day, releasing it from your body with every breath. And as you breathe in beautiful white light, energetic protection. I want you to start to notice any tension within your body. Do a bit of a body scan. Where in your body are you holding any tension? Is it in your shoulders, your jaw, your belly, your legs? Just let that go. Now what I want you to do is visualize roots growing from you, from your feet. And they're going deep into the earth. Imagine those roots growing right down to the core of the earth, to the warmth that's there. Knowing that you are safe, knowing that you're connected and supported by the earth's energy. Now what I want you to do is imagine in your heart space. If you can, put your hand over your heart space. And I want you to breathe deeply into this. And as you're doing this, I want you to start imagining a warm green growing light starts to expand from your heart space. This is you opening up your heart chakra. And with each breath, I want you to imagine that that glow expands. With each breath, that glow gets bigger and bigger. I want you to feel the warmth and love of this space. And it gets stronger with each breath. What I want you to do now is set an intention. The intention I want you to set is to discover the Claire that is strongest for you. I don't want you to ask just yet. This is just your intention. Let that intention fill up your whole body. Breathe that intention in. Going to get you to tap into your clairvoyance now, your clear seeing. And I want you to visualize a peaceful scene. This could be a beach or a garden. And take a moment here. Do you notice any images, any colors, or any symbols? I just want you to take a bit of a mental note. What is it that you notice in this beautiful scene? For our clear audience, our clear hearing, I want you to listen closely in this time of stillness, this time of quiet. Do you hear a soft inner voice? Do you hear music? Or is it just a word that you hear? I'm going to give you a few seconds so that you can listen. Now for our clear cognizance, our clear knowing. Pay attention now to any sudden insights or answers that come to you. They may come to you without any logic or any reasoning. Now for our clear sentience, clear feeling. I want you to focus now on your body. And as you're focusing on your body, do you feel any tingling, any emotions, or any energy shifts throughout your body? Do you feel any warmth in your hands, your feet? Do you feel any coolness? Now that you've connected with these senses, I want you to allow your mind to go back to your intention. What is your strongest sense? Ask this of your guides now. Be open to the answer you receive and trust the first thing that comes to mind. So be it, so it is. And in gratitude for our spirit team for helping us with this tonight, I want you to finish by placing your hands over your eyes. And I want you to thank your guides for revealing your strongest psychic sense. Take this moment to sit in gratitude for the insights you've received. And when you're ready, slowly come back to the room. Right, in time for the dog to bark.
And someone just saying, sit down.
So guys, in the chat, if you want to share, did anything come through when you asked what was your strongest psychic sense? Or which one did you feel most drawn to in that?
Yeah, and did you struggle with any of them? Like, so some people can't visualize very well. So when you go through the clairvoyance type exercises, they struggle to see much. Or maybe you don't feel like you heard anything, or some people, a lot of males in particular, probably not you, Mark, but they they struggle with feeling, like emotions. So a few men that I have mentored really struggle with clairsentience, so with emotions, whereas, you know, women tend to be a little bit easier with that. Nikki said she got quite a strong impression that mine are like video clips. They come with visual, audio, and knowing all in one. Can't separate them. That's not a bad thing.
Mm.
And Janie's put in there knowing.
Ooh. Did you already know that before?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But it
Emma.
came to me as well.
Oh, that's good.
Mm.
Yeah, Deb got clear knowing as well.
Emma got clairvoyance. Did you know that before, Emma? Deb, did you know? You already knew you were a knowing, or you didn't know?
Mine's normally a knowing, like I know I'm more in the knowing place, but it was interesting. My guide said clairvoyance, so that was interesting.
Mm. Did you see it, or did you feel it? Or you
I got quite
heard
a good,
that?
yeah, I did get quite a good visual on that one. No, but I did go through quite a while of, you know, my clairs where everything else was gone but clairvoyance. So I guess I upgraded that.
Yeah, wow. Emma's one of our little psychic school members, if you don't know, as well, and actually a really amazing psychic medium. So you can find her, Emma Stewicki, your soul guide, on Instagram.
Thanks for that plug.
No worries. I always love to plug my little psychic school members. Abby says, I feel big empath, especially with touch. Yeah, wow. Lauren, I had the top of my head start tingling and then got tickled at the top of my head. Wow. And chills all over. That's so cool. But what does that mean?
The feeling, because that was in the feeling I was asking. Are you getting any feeling in the
yeah.
body anywhere? So maybe that was your guide's way of saying that that's one of your strongest senses.
I also sometimes associate this with knowing, crown chakra, so could be that too. Raquel got unsure. That's totally fine. You know what? I'll get a replay of this. If you want to try that meditation again, you know, I feel sometimes it takes a couple of times to try certain visualizations or exercises before you get anything. Do you know how many times I did meet your spirit guides meditations before I actually met my spirit guides? And let me tell you, it was when I wasn't trying that they actually came through.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like I normally am like, I feel like I would think knowing or feeling, but after like picking the song, I'm like, whoa, what is that about? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's a really cool thing, is that when you actually understand how they work and, you know, have that awareness, you actually go, oh, I do have that.
Got really cold after too. I don't know if it was just like my shock of getting it. I don't know, but yeah.
That could be something. Have you heard of a calling card, Raquel?
No.
When spirit are near or when messages are coming through, like a lot of people have a certain feeling that happens. For me, it would be, I would get all over body goosebumps when I would, you know, spirit would come in close or before I was about to get intuitive information. So because you haven't tried it before, you'll have to let us know later on if you try an exercise like this again, or you try to tune in. If you get that cold feeling, that could be your calling card.
If you want to, on my website, I offer, it is paid, but it's a small price point, Meet Your Spirit Guides meditation. And in it, I get you to ask your spirit team, show me a physical sensation on my body when you're around, so that you can start to recognize that.
Cool. Thank you. That's good.
That's really cool though. Cal, thank you for sharing. Mordra said seeing, hearing and feeling and clear messages about bunyips. What's a bunyip, says Nikki. It's an Australian, kind of looks like a rabbit, but it's a marsupial, right?
Yeah.
A mythical Australian animal. I think it's real, isn't it?
Bunyips? No.
Yeah, I thought it was real.
No.
I
It's
think
not?
we just read too many stories.
Anyway. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for sharing. I hope that you enjoyed. That was great, Shannon. So while we're all kind of heart chakras plugged in, we're all kind of open. With that in mind, we might do one more last little exercise before we hop off tonight. What I'm going to get you to do, and you can have a go at this too, Shannon, if you like, is have a tune into, if you can see this little figurine that I've got here. So this is actually, when you tune into an object, it's a psychic ability called, or game, well, it's called psychometry. Psychometry is the ability to tune into objects. And you can tune into an object without actually holding it, just by setting the intention that you're going to tune into it. And because we're working with our clear senses, so it says in the little PowerPoint presentation, I'm sure you can see it, have a tune into, what do you see? Do you get an image that comes along with this? So what does it mean for me? Like this could be anyone's, this could be anything, it's not necessarily mine, but have a tune in and see what you get. Do you get any images? Do you hear any words when you tune into this object? Do you know anything about it? Just know anything? Do you feel any emotions attached to it? And again, don't put any pressure on yourself. Nobody cares if it doesn't make any sense at all. Even if you see something. So for me, when my clairvoyance was first developing, I saw a lot of symbols and random images that I could not interpret. I didn't understand what they meant. And it's very common with people that I mentor for that to happen, because it takes a while for your spirit team to understand what you understand and how you work, and for you to understand how they work. So even if you get an image, you're like, that can't be a thing because I see a sewing machine, just express it because I might be able to help you interpret, or it could actually make sense to me. So what Shannon, I was reading those songs before and I'm going, oh, what does brown eyed girl mean? Just because Shannon's got brown eyes, but she understood every single one of those songs. So have a little go. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you know? Maybe you smell things. Maybe you taste, if you're one of the rare people who have those as a stronger clairsense. And yeah, let me know what you get. me. I won't read out what you've got just yet, just so you don't influence other people. Do you want to have a go, Shan? Do you want to type it in as well?
I can type it in, yeah.
Yeah. Because if you say it, then it just gets in, it gets into other people's heads. All right. Anyone else want to have a go? I'll give you another 10 seconds. Okay, so I'll go through. Good job, everyone, for giving it a go. Janie, I'm getting a little girl. So I'll go through each person. So Jane, I got this as a little girl. So that's a tick for you. Did you see, hear, smell it, taste it, know it though, Janie? Deb got a gift from your dad, tick for Deb. So again, did you just know that? Because that is a gift from my dad, yes. Well done. Lauren said Christmas. I didn't get it for Christmas, but I don't know if this counts. I think Dad bought this actually, this probably does count. I think Dad bought this because he used to buy random things all the time. And I'm pretty sure it was actually a part of a Christmas, what are they called? Those Christmas setup. What are they called?
Like a nativity set.
Yeah.
Yes, nativity set. That's it. I'm pretty sure he picked it up from one of those from the op shop, because he used to just buy random stuff like that all the time. So I would actually give that a tick too, Lauren. Being given as a gift, yes, Shannon. So it was given from my dad, so that's a tick as well.
Your dad giving it to you, but I was like, I didn't want to write.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I did that last time too. Raquel says apron, cooking, grandparent, or caregiver. I guess, I mean, Dad was my caregiver, so he definitely gave me that. Gift from Betsy. No, but Betsy is my grandmother. I think, did you already know that, Nikki? Did you know that? Nikki? That is my grandmother, but it's from my dad. Mordred's feeling trapped by others' expectations, particularly if conforming, desired. Oh. Breathe freely. Sing.
Okay.
Interesting. Deb says, thanks, Mordred. Deb says that she just knew.
Yeah.
So well done. Lots of people around happiness. Grave the flowers. Yes, Em, that would be my dad. Op shop. Yes. So good job. See, you surprise yourselves, which is amazing. So in saying that, was there anything you wanted to add, Shannon, after that little exercise? So you guys, I hope you're pleasantly surprised by trying these things, because the thing is, with your psychic senses, with any of your psychic development moving forward, you're not going to know what it is that you are good at, what it is that you like doing, what it is that you vibe with, unless you actually try it. So there are lots of areas that I thought, no way I'm going to be okay at that. And I actually surprised myself. And the same thing happens in Little Psychic School all the time. People give exercises a go, or try different, try stretching their skills or their psychic gifts or abilities in different ways that they never thought to try, and then actually figure out that they're really quite good at it. So you're not going to know unless you give it a go. So I hope that you continue your journey and keep that, curiosity going, whether or not that's with me or Shannon or the Little Psychic School or not. I will say that if you don't vibe with us or the Little Psychic School, if you're looking for a great psychic mentor, we can probably help you to find someone that you do vibe with, because really at the end of the day, what is most important, and something that both me and Shannon are really passionate about, is watching other people really lean into and trust and open up and develop their intuition and their psychic abilities. And I have never worked with anyone who has ever regretted opening up their psychic abilities, because how much easier is it moving forward, even if you don't want to do this for other people, to be able to just trust yourself in regards to making decisions in life, rather than what I used to do in the past, which was spiral and give myself anxiety, overthinking the same silly thing because I was working from this too much. and not from in here. So I really do, and I know Shannon does as well, wish you the best with your development. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me or Shannon on social media at Shannon the Intuitive Guide or at Ms. June Mac or at the Little Psychic School, littlepsychicschool.com, guys, if you would like to read more about what's included in the membership. So it says here, ignite and activate your intuition. It's community and collaboration. It's really full of, there are amazing intuitives within the Little Psychic School. So many connections to be made. So Shannon, I love how you spoke about one of the number one reasons why you joined in the first place was actually community.
Absolutely, yeah. But at the time in my journey, I was struggling with that a little bit, and to find my community and the lifelong friends I've made as a result of that have been amazing. But also the confidence it put in myself with my abilities and what I could do was phenomenal.
I second that as well. That's exactly how I ended up here as well, just trying to find my people. And when I you go through that shedding period of kind of shedding those people who you sort of no longer can resonate or connect with, it's quite tricky. And yeah, so I ended up here for exactly the same reason.
Oh, thank you, Emma. See, we plug each other right back.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely a place where there's enough room for all of us. We always say the more light workers, the better. So we'd love to have you. And Mordred says, what night of the week a Little Psychic School meeting? So they vary, Mordred. So that's a really good question. We try to mix it up as much as we can. So different times, usually 7 p.m. Weeknights, but we do have daytime sessions as well. So we try to mix it up to suit everybody. But the thing is, even if you can't make it live, there's replays available. And the replays are kept inside the app. So we have our own app for members only, and they're all in there. So you can watch them back as many times as you like, including this workshop. And there is a whole section in the Little Psychic Beginners course inside Little Psychic School on psychic senses in particular. And we will be working on each psychic sense coming up in the next following months as well. So also the Little Psychic podcast, if you want some free stuff. We both have YouTube with free stuff, free meditation, so you can get access to us free as well. If you have any other questions, please let us know now. Anyone have anything else they wanted to add or anything they wanted to talk about tonight? No, you guys, I think, did really well. Thank you so much for giving it a go. I hope that it's excited you, that you've discovered something cool here. Thank you, Shannon. And if you don't have any other questions, my last slide, finally, we got it all working, says thank you. So I really wanted to thank everybody for being here and for taking the time out. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Shannon? Yep, replays. Yes.
I absolutely love the trust don't try in this, so keep going. I love that you guys showed up for yourself tonight. Investing in yourself in this journey is amazing, so I want you guys to take a moment and be proud of yourself for taking this time out and investing in yourself in your journey.
Yay. Thank you, everybody. It's been so lovely connecting with you all, and maybe see you out there, thanks, Janie, in social media land or in the Little Psychic School, either. See you later, guys.
Bye, girls.
Feel free to hop off. See ya. Good night.
Bye.